Alright guys, so we're just going to do a quick little video here on the special types of systems. Alright, so like this says, usually each linear system in two variables has exactly one solution, right? So if you think about the last page or the last video we did, most of the graphs look like this, right? Where it touched in one place, therefore had one answer. So we'll start here. These are just called intersecting lines. They have one solution, okay? So the other possibilities, okay, we talked about this in the vocab, but that was about it. If two lines are like this, remember the arrows mean they go forever, so even if I pretend they keep going forever, they'll never touch. They're parallel, so they don't touch. That means there is no solutions. There are zero solutions. There is no answer, because the answer is where it touches. Okay? And then, last but not least, if you graph two lines, and what they're trying to show you here is that sometimes the lines are like directly on top of each other. Well, if they're on top of each other, well, where are they touching? Well, in that case, they're touching like everywhere. And so that would be infinite solutions, right? One intersection, one answer. No intersections, no answer. If it intersects everywhere, it's an infinite answer. And we call these coinciding lines, okay? So if you think about this, just some things to look at as well to make sure it makes sense. It's all about when we graph lines. Remember, it's all about slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So if I look at regular intersecting lines, they have different m's and different b's. They got different y-intercepts and they got different slopes. So that's why they only touch in one place. But if you look at the parallel lines, see how they're going in the same direction? That means they have the same m. They have the same slope. So if you see two lines with the same slope, they're never going to touch. Okay? They have different y-intercepts. They're crossing the y-axis in a different place. But because they're going in the same direction, they'll never touch. And last, coinciding lines. Because it's like one line on top of each other, it's the exact same line. So it has the same m and it has the same b. So if I'm looking at it like let's just make up an equation. What if I have a line y equals negative 3x plus 1? Well, if the second line is y is negative 3x plus 1, it's the exact same line. It's going to be one on top of the other. That's infinite solutions. Okay? So that's just kind of how to look at it, and this gives you an idea. Does your answer make sense? Do I have one answer or one point? Is there no answer, or are there infinity answers? All right? And so remember, when you write your answer, if it's one solution, you write it like a point. No solution, you can also write empty set. Infinite solutions, you can also write all real numbers. It all means the same thing. Okay? Now, another quick thing to show you here is how to use your calculator to find the point of intersection, or the answer. All right? Last video you learned how to do it by hand. We can use our calculator to do it as well. Okay? It's good to know how to do it both ways. So here's the steps for the calculator. First, step one is you're going to go and graph both lines. And then you're going to hit the graph button. And then you're going to do second calc and tell the calculator to find the intersection. Step 4, you're going to put the arrow to the intersection. Step 5, enter 3 times. Okay? I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's actually pretty simple. So here's what we have to do. Once again, both equations have to be in slope-intercept. So I can't type these in. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work. So this first equation, negative y equals negative 6x minus 3. Well, I need to get y all alone. I have to divide everything by negative 1. Okay. So that leaves me with y equals negative 6 divided by negative 1 is positive 6x. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. Alright, so instead of that, this is my first equation. Now I need to change the second one. Y plus 4 equals negative x. That's what it was here. We're going to change it. I want it y equals, so I'm going to get rid of the minus 4. So now I have y equals, let's just write it in order, negative x minus 4. Okay. So now we're going to graph both of these. So we're going to go to our calculator, okay? So this is step 1. This is where I enter both equations. And what we're going to do is from the screen. So anytime we want to graph, you're going to touch this y equals screen. That's the graphing screen. And that's what this y1, y2 equals. I'm going to put the first equation and the second equation. So I'm going to type the first equation and the second equation. So if we go back, the first equation we can say is y equals 6x plus 3. So there's the y equals, come over to the side, 6x plus 3. So there's the first equation. Now I'm going to hit the down arrow so I can graph the second equation. I have to graph them both at the same time. Second equation is y equals negative x minus 4. So we're going to type that in, negative x minus 4. Now step 2 says graph. So I'm just going to hit the graph button. This graph button will take me to the graph and graph all the equations that I put in. There's the first line, there's the second line. Okay, now the thing is I want to see what this answer is. It's kind of hard to tell here. I don't get to see all the lines. So I'm going to have the calculator do it for me. Here's how. Second calc, number 5 intersect. So anytime we wanted the calculator to do something for us, see how it says calc up here in blue? And that's what the second button is. For anything I want in blue, I got to hit that first. So I'm going to do second, and then press this button that has the calc on top. And now these are all the things I can ask the calculator to find for me. Remember, we're finding the intersection, so we're going to go down here to number 5. I want to find the intersection. Hit enter. And then here's what the direction says now. Arrow to the intersection. So basically, we're just going to try to go as close to this point as we can so the calculator knows, hey, I want to find that point. So, whoops, I'll use my left arrow. Get as close as you can. It doesn't have to be exactly on it. And then the last step says enter 3 times. So I'm going to do enter, enter, enter. The guess, that means give me the answer. And look, there's the exact answer. So the answer here, -1, -3. Alright, so now you know how to graph systems of equations by hand. And now you know how to do it on your calculator. Just remember, even on your calculator, it might take a little bit of work. Like we had to set both of these up first. Alright, so now you got a couple ways to do the same thing. So, try both ways. For practice, you can even kind of go back and go to the practice you just did for the second video and check your answers with the calculator. Alright, but now go ahead and try these. Okay, and use the calculator. All you're doing here, look at each system and write whether it has one solution, no solution, or many solutions. Alright, so really all you're doing here is writing how many answers it has. Okay, so once again, some are ready to type in, some you'll have to solve first, but get some practice typing and graphing and looking at the graphs there. Alright, good luck.